Now, in a moment, we're going to go to Darren McBreen dealing with aspartame, this military chemical weapon that's been in our food since 1981. But before we get to that, the guys were able to dig it up. And I've noticed that the Sunday Times of London that originally wrote the article pulled their story years after it was up. And also the ABC News. We're going to do a whole report on this in the next few days because we're going to dig up the old screenshots we've got. They changed their headline that they're trying to help the poor. But there's the PrisonPlanet.com article from a few years ago. Secretive rich cabal met to discuss population control. Now, the actual headline from the Sunday Times was, Rich Meet to Discuss Overpopulation in New York. And they're just pulling it. They let a reporter in, Oprah Winfrey, Ted Turner, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. They were all there. And previously, the ABC News article said all this, but they actually cut it out. Why? Because Bill Gates is a sponsor of ABC News and ABC Blog. And again, George Soros, all of them were there, obsessed with their philanthropy to make sure you take all these vaccines and shots. In fact, guys, did you find the Prison Planet version where we did actually save part of the Sunday Times? You know, we only put a blurb there, but we have the actual headline. Go back and type in that original headline that actually led you to our article. Go back to the Google search, the NSA search. We'll show people. Hit enter on that. Billionaire club in bid to curb overpopulation. That's it. And that's our forum. And then watch what happens when you link on it. It takes you to the Sunday Times. And now they've removed it. I actually went and registered trying to see this today. Gone. Gone. But, again, they want you to register now. But thank God we were able to save it. So if you type in billionaire club in bid to curb overpopulation, we only put a blurb up to document it was there. Global Research actually has the whole thing. In fact, put in billionaire club in bid to curb overpopulation, and then put in globalresearch.ca after it. They actually have the whole thing. Again, we just show you our own research, you know, what we do here. It's all transparent. And you read it, at the end they say, well, we don't want to say we're an alternative global government. We're just trying to help the global government with the overpopulation. And they want to help by getting you vaccines and GMO food. And then we've got Bill Gates on TED TV saying, we're going to give you shots so you don't have kids. And endorsing death panels, kill granny. We're going to put a whole report together showing you what these guys are up to. But they pay to have it called philanthropy. Yeah, there it is. Billionaire club in bid to curb overpopulation. Scroll down. And Times UK. Yeah. They've got, scroll down to the end of the article. And they've got the whole thing basically posted there. All right, you can go find that for yourself. I'm kind of digressing. I get obsessed with information, obviously. Let's look at some of the other medical news. New Jersey Assembly panel passes bill to add fluoride to public drinking water. This is after cities began to pass laws against lobbyists coming in and getting them to pay millions of dollars for toxic waste that's left over, not just fluoride, but hundreds of chemicals and heavy metals to be added to the water. So we've got that report. Florida, of course, last year passed a law to force everyone to fluoridate, and now they're talking about making people that have wells not be able to use the well water anymore because you've got to have the fluoride. It's you know, the government cares about you. These are really, really, really wonderful people for your teeth. Just like we have clips coming up with Darren McBreen after Man on the Street where they say cigarettes, the doctor says, are good for you. And don't disagree with them. You know, big special industry to come in and tell you the doctor says Prozac, Ritalin, fluoride, cigarettes with hundreds of additives, fluoride, it's good for you. They love you. Don't be a conspiracy theorist. Don't question. But never fear, the same government that dug up dead whalers in the Arctic tundra to resurrect the Spanish flu that killed tens of millions and turned it into H1N1 to scare you, why, they've discovered deadly superbugs that are in the ocean and no doubt will make their way into our lives. Bacteria that can resist nearly all antibiotics have been found in Antarctic seawater. A quarter of the samples of the coli bacteria, the same folks that make the aspartame, carry genes that made an enzyme called ESBL, which can destroy penicillin and other antibiotics. So you know that'll make its way to your dinner table by these murdering eugenicists very, very soon. Here's another report. Scientists create bird flu superbug that could set off next global pandemic, and they've found mouse pox, airborne Ebola, all of this in the name of keeping you safe. No, it's the control freaks that are the actual danger to humanity. And yet another report, children's medicines coated with brain-damaging aluminum. You know Alzheimer's is off the chart. You know that it's connected for decades to aluminum. Of course, you know that neurological disorders are getting worse and worse. And they're now coming out and admitting in these major research that it shows kidney damage in mice, higher incidence of tumors, toxic to rodents, even in modest levels. And, of course, they recognized in 1990 it's tied to thyroid cancer. It's in many of the most popular dyes. It causes bladder and testicle tumors. Another gift from the globalist. And affects behavior and hypersensitivity reactions. Well, aluminum's an adjuvant. It accelerates and magnifies everything. And causes adrenal tumors in animals. Well, hell, why not have the deodorant with it? Why not have it in your kids' pills? I mean, come on. Don't be a conspiracy theorist. This is another gift from the government. In fact, I want to apologize right here. Yeah. Obviously, this is a gift to your children. Trust these loving people that openly say they want to kill you. Don't be an extremist. Trust the FDA. Trust the EPA. You know, they raise levels of radiation and said it's safe. And then here's another one. Proof that the cancer industry doesn't want to cure, even if it's pharmacological. Even when they make it. They've got all these treatments that almost completely cure cancer. They've come out over decades, and they just shelve them. Because they want to suck all the money out of you with a can of Raid poison they charge you $10,000 for, calling it chemo, and get rid of your butt. It's part of their control freak murderous activity. DCA offers the cancer industry an opportunity to come up with a pharmacological cure that is much cheaper and safer than their current standard of care. If the cancer industry is ignoring this opportunity, instead DCA is a homeless orphan begging for research fund to avoid legal issues with off-label use of cancer. So basically, the establishment knows that we're starting to wake up to their medical tyranny with the sodium fluoride and the water and all the other toxic chemicals, the forced shots and the mercury and the cancer increasing. The GMOs, all run by eugenicists like Bill Gates, who openly says he wants to reduce population, but he's got a shot for you because you're an African. He cares so much about you. It's ridiculous.